if you come across these experiences where people reject you for who you are, that it's okay to walk away from these people, because the people that you will find after that rejection will be the people who will accept, validate, and mirror the magnificence, the amazingness of who you are as a person. Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your mid-March reading for 2023, or for whenever you come across this video for the next 30 days. So we have some cards that are pre-drawn for you guys today, and then we're also going to pull some cards as we go along in the reading to get as detailed as possible. And we also have a rune, so we'll get to talk about this as well, because this is the underlying energy or kind of like theme of the reading for you guys today, or just a very strong point that we want to discuss that's of importance. So the first card that we have here is Imperfection. We have Masquerade. We have Not For You in reverse. And then we have a self-forgiveness card. I'm going to leave this on the side, and then we'll get to talk about it towards the end of the reading. So what I get with the Masquerade and Imperfection card, the Imperfection card talks about our uniqueness being beautiful, being something to be sought out by ourselves. So this is something that you like about you. This is something that is different about you, even if this is something that, you know, other people have as a characteristic, you know, within your life. This is something that makes you unique amongst, you know, the other people that you interact with. But as you can see here, like, there's a hole in this leaf, but that is nature, right? Like, that is existence. This is still beautiful. So this is kind of what this is talking about, allowing ourselves to experience our beauty, allowing ourselves to be different, allowing ourselves to be unique. But with the Masquerade card here, this talks about having difficulty in having that experience. You know, maybe we have peers who are judgmental, or family members who don't get us, or we simply are aware of people's opinions. Maybe we, you know, are on social media and we see how people react to other people who are similar to us, and it makes it very scary to embody who you are as a person. So the Masquerade talks about, in one way or another, either hiding who we are or not fully embodying who we are, as a way to protect ourselves, as a way of just, I guess, trying to avoid judgment. And this reading coming in to say that that is understandable, that is a valid decision, that's a valid behavior. This reading isn't coming in to say that, you know, you are unique and different and you haven't felt safe to express that, and so express it anyway. No, like, this reading is coming in to say whatever approach you've taken to that experience, this is more so wanting to validate that experience, wanting to validate your feelings. But this rune that you have here in reverse specifically talks about prejudice. So again, you know, whatever this is that makes you different, it may be something that is not widely accepted. This could be a lot of stuff, you know. The list goes on and on for things that people just, for one reason or another, just are not open-minded about. Generally speaking, this is not that channel. So I'm glad that you found your way to this channel. But this could be a lot of stuff, right? This could be kinks. This could be... Sorry about that. The cat jumped on the keyboard, which started the music. Okay, so this could be a lot of stuff. This could be kinks. This could be wanting to wear makeup, but people presume that you shouldn't be wearing makeup for one reason or another. This could be the type of clothes that you want to wear. Maybe people think that you're too conservative or not conservative enough. This could be, you know, something as simple as like the music you want to listen to. And I say simple in the sense of like what most people might say, like, oh, well, it's just music. But, you know, even with music taste, people will find that there are others who judge them, who put these like ideals and beliefs onto what they should or shouldn't be doing. I can give a personal example. I remember, so I grew up in a neighborhood that was predominantly Cambodian and Black. And so when I grew up in school, there were a lot of like other Black children, and there was sort of like this expectation of like what music you listened to and what music you didn't listen to. And I remember being really into like certain types of music. Like I loved 303 in elementary school. elementary school. And I love 303. And people would call me like an Oreo and just like make judgments about me for something as simple as music. So you kind of get my drift here. There's a sense of something that makes you different, something that stands out about you. Even if people can't see it, you are different because of it. And the difference is beautiful. It's amazing. It's to be celebrated, but maybe people just don't get it. Maybe people aren't celebrating it, even though you know it's worthy of being celebrated. And I second that because I can feel it in this reading. But again, the masquerade card coming in to say that there is an essence of you that just can't shine as brightly as it really should be allowed to, or that you're having to dim your light in one way or another for various reasons, whether this is just to avoid prejudice, or, you know, for some of us, it could be because you need to mind your safety. You know, there are still a lot of places in the world where it's not safe to be gay. It's not safe to be trans. It's not safe to date certain people out in the open. So, you know, there's a lot of different backgrounds, I assume, that will come across this reading, and you know which one is for you. So again, never feel like a reading is saying, okay, we're telling you to do this, like you need to do this. No, I hope to confirm your experiences, your feelings, so that you feel validated, seen, heard, and understood. And also know that you can trust to make what decisions are best for you in each present moment. But again, there's definitely a sense here of like prejudice that you have experienced at one point in time. So let's talk about the not for you card in reverse. So one of the main like sayings for this card is that there is a clear knowing that something is being denied you. And then also rejection is God's protection. So there may be a sense with this not for you card. And sorry if you can hear the kitties in the background. 1 second, I'm gonna feed them really quick because they are messing with the snack bag, which means they are hungry. So I'll be right back. So when we're talking about, you know, something being denied you, this is you are being denied the ability to be yourself and authentically and with full expression. This is what this is talking about. And it's because there is a prejudice that is pushed onto one or more aspects of who you are inherently at your core, but also too, when it talks about rejection being God's protection. And so we're going to use this as like a general phrase. You don't necessarily have to believe in God or, you know, this another word or another name, like Allah, for example, may be a better fit for this phrase. But the general essence being that, say, for example, you try to tell a group of friends about your sexual identity and they reject you. This could be talking about an experience where you then decide that that experience taught you that they weren't your people, you know, that sort of thing. So this is sort of like a mental choice that you choose to give a certain meaning to an experience to say that, you know what, I may have been rejected, I may have experienced prejudice from these people, but I found out that this is not my group of people, this is not my community, these are not my friends, and for some of us, these are not my family, you know, that sort of thing. The not for you card also has a message of saying that if you come across these experiences where people reject you for who you are, that it's okay to walk away from these people, because the people that you will find after that rejection will be the people who will accept, validate, and mirror the magnificence, the amazingness of who you are as a person. So if you have a partner who rejects you, this would be talking about, for example, leaving that relationship instead of staying simply for the sake of staying, so that you can find someone who is accepting and loving of who you actually are as an individual and not who you have to pretend to be in order for them to love you, especially given the fact of this masquerade card. The same goes for friends, the same goes for family members, and etc. So let's talk a bit about that, right? Let's talk about relationships, and then what we'll do is get a little bit more into the emotions, because for some of you guys, you know, this is related to relationships, whether platonic or romantic. And again, we want to get as much information as possible. I'm going to try this other romance deck first. All right, so the first one we have is home and family. This is home environment or family changes. This could be a new home or relocation. This may pertain to an upcoming celebration with family or you may be feeling more at home in a relationship. So yeah, I feel like this is just mirroring what we're talking about. For some of my people in Sagittarius, you are experiencing this prejudice within your home environment or with people that you considered family, even if these aren't blood relatives. All right, and so this could be talking about a change in that area, as well as for some of you guys, just simply wanting to find people who actually feel like home because they are accepting of who you are as a person. Let's get one more card. And we'll get that card from this other deck here. All right, so the first card we have is worthiness. Wow, we've been talking about this, guys. So know your worth. The universe can only bring you what you know you deserve. You can have it all. Yeah, you guys, Sagittarius, you are my pile. You can have your cake and you can eat it too, because a lot of people will try and make you believe that what you want is too grand, what you want is too high of a standard, what you want is unrealistic. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care who you want to date. I don't care who you love. I don't care what style of clothes you want to wear, makeup, hair. I don't care what it is. If someone is telling you that that is wrong, but you know it is authentic to you, please know. You guys, please know. I hope this doesn't sound too stern. I'm so sorry if it does, but I really feel strongly about you being able to be who you are and knowing that you're worthy of being allowed to do so, even if other people try and make you believe that you are not. All right, we have the escape artist. May sabotage/end to avoid hurt, afraid to be loved, still looking, don't run when it gets real. So for some of you, you may experience that you're gonna end up going through this process of really re-trusting people, maybe because there was a big betrayal involved in you trying to share a part of yourself with someone. You may be experiencing trying to cope with these difficult emotions in ways that you feel like are unhealthy for you. This could be, again, like fear of abandonment kind of coming up from this situation, fear of loss, fear of judgment, things like that. But also too, this could be that when you do finally find people who are authentic, really do value you, really do see your worth, that you may struggle to really believe that. So, you know, if you find yourself in a situation, know that it is a normal response to an experience that you have had, but also too that there is an essence here that eventually you get to a point where this not for you card becomes reversed. And in a situation where you were not welcomed, you find that you find your group, your cohort, your people, your real family, whether blood or not, right? Like your group of people, and all of those things that have been difficulties, whether this is like, you know, unhealthy coping mechanisms. Maybe you have leaned really heavy on food, or maybe you leaned really heavy into things like alcohol or nicotine, or, you know, whatever that may be. Going through that process, I guess what many would call healing, like this process of like healing these hurts so that the urge to do some of these things isn't as strong. And this is just for a few of you guys, okay? I want to talk a little bit more about the escape artist because I think it is important to talk about it, right? That way you guys can get confirmation of what you've been experiencing. So let's talk about the escape artist card here. So we have the card Soften. All right. We have the card Warmth, Embody, Awake, Let Go. Let us get one more card, please. Thank you. And Gentle. And what I want to do is clarify each of these cards with a situation, like a relational situation. That way we can really get into detail. Thank you. So with the Softening card, we have Leveling Up. So Leveling Up says you deserve the best, major improvement, doing inner work, dealing with past hurts. So again, a lot of you guys, maybe not now, but sometime in the future, you're going to be figuring out that you really are worthy of people who love and appreciate and see you as you see yourself, right? Again, this term of like mirroring, people mirror to you what it is that is authentic to you. So if, for example, you are a caring, kind person, people mirror that by telling you that you're caring and kind. They share the appreciation of the way in which you treat them and are responsive to them, things like that. You get into a point where you really feel like you do deserve the best. And where it says here, major improvement, just knowing that these changes really are coming. All right? And I want to put these cards back in the deck so that if they are going to clarify any of these, that they can. All right, so let's clarify the warmth card. All right, so warmth is clarified by destructive habits. So it says addictions to gambling, alcohol, sex negativity impacting relationships, sex negatively impacting relationships, toxic thinking / behavior. And that's so crazy. We have this sort of like fire here, and also too like these fire and flames here as well. So I get the sense here that whatever you are impassioned by, there's sort of like this I guess dichotomy where, I don't know if you guys can hear the cats in the background, they're playing. I don't want to interrupt them though. Hopefully you guys can't hear them, but all right, there's this sense of passion. So I want to say on one end, this could be like a passion that is unpleasant in the sense of like addictions that it's talking about here, behaviors that you would describe as toxic because of your experience with prejudice and not really feeling like you could cope, or there were very few options in figuring out how to cope. So for example, I was diagnosed with depression my freshman year of high school, and as an adult looking back, I realized that I had zero skills to deal with unpleasant emotions, period. So I was almost like set up for failure by the time that diagnosis came in, because I was away from home going to a boarding school, and all I had to lean on there was food. I had made a best friend there, but I didn't know how to necessarily communicate some of the things I was experiencing. Oh my God, was she a blessing? I mean, there were nights where wow, it's crazy to even like think about this in hindsight, but some of the medications were negatively interacting with me, and I remember there was one night where I was like having like really bad hallucinations from the medications, and she was like, girl, you get in this bed, we will sleep together, you don't have to be alone. Mind you, this is like a small ass twin bed in a dormitory, and she was just like, no girl, like you're sleeping with me tonight. Like she took care of me. There was never any judgment. So I did get the sense here too of like, this could be needing warmth, as in like loving and understanding of the experiences that you're going through because of past judgments that you've had placed on you by other people. This could be negative experiences that you're having, again, with addictions and coping and stuff, because you don't feel like you've learned the skills. I will say one thing. If you come across this reading, in all of the zodiac signs, I share skills that you can sort of like develop and work on. That way people can get introduced to more skills to help them with their emotional health and well-being. So even if you just like go over each and every pile just to skip towards the end where we talk about that way you can get exposed to a lot more skills and pick and choose which ones, try them out and see which ones feel like a good fit. That way you can figure out how to build skills. That way you don't have to always lean on this one thing that you may find is not feeling like a healthy coping mechanism for you. All right, so let us clarify the embodied card. That came out really quickly. All right, so the embodied card is clarified by the mingle card. So it says, go to places that pique your interest, attend social gatherings, talk to meet new people. So, the embodied card for me talks about stepping into your authenticity, stepping into awareness, acknowledgement, and expression of who you are. And after doing so, meeting people who match up with that. So for those of you where it's important for you to make connections and support systems with people who you relate to, maybe this is because of sexual identity. Sorry for the noise, guys. And I've already apologized once, but I'm sorry. So yeah, so, you know, after you get to a point where you can fully embody who you are, this is talking about going out and meeting people who align with that, going out and meeting people who you are almost like, oh my gosh, I never thought I'd meet another person like me. Again, this could be for so many different stuff. Remember, we said like sexual identity. I think you were in my group that I talked about this, like sexual identity. This could be for kinks, makeup styles, like so many different stuff. So many different stuff. All right, so let us clarify awake. The card that stood out to me was finger pointing. I should have just pulled it, but let's see. Here it is, right here. Finger pointing. So we have finger pointing. Our partners reflect our wounds. Relationships mirror what we are. Finger pointing, take responsibility. So I feel like what this relates to is mirror what we are. So eventually, for you guys, Sagittarius, you're going to get to a point where you have a inner circle of people who are attuned to who you are as a person. They are accepting of who you are as a person. They love you for who you are as a person, and they encourage you to be who you are. So this is kind of talking about that. The finger pointing reminds me of like choosing those people, right? Instead of, for example, adapting to be accepted. This is kind of saying, I know who I am, I know who you are, and I think we're a match or I don't think we're a match, and then connecting with people that way. And just kind of keeping that awareness as you go out and meet new people. So let us clarify the let go card. All right, the let go card is clarified by altered view. So it says seeing things differently than they are, past / conditioning, influencing situation, reevaluate. So this is talking about letting go of past conditioning, past influences, especially when it comes to like home and family. So if you have grown up in an environment where, say for example, it is a very religious home that is homophobic, and say that you are part of the LGBTQIA plus community. Oh my gosh, what is that TikTok saying that they're saying? Oh my gosh, I'm so corny. What is it called?
I'm assuming you're LGBTQ until you come out to me as straight.
It's like a bougie way of saying LGBTQ. LGBT queer. I don't know. Maybe I just have a corny sense of humor, but I think it's funny. But anyway, this is all about seeing things differently than they are, and just letting go of anything that doesn't match up with the way you see things. So again, if you grew up in a very religious home environment where it's a strong held belief that people who are gay go to hell, this, you know, kind of going and doing some work, whether this is with another professional or by yourself, to try and let go of some of this belief. For some of you guys, there was another card here that talked about sex and relationships being affected. So for some of you guys in this pile, you may have an experience where it's hard to connect with partners, especially if this is like a same-sex relationship, because of the beliefs that you grew up with. And so you may be going through this process of not only letting your partner become aware of this, but trying to work through some of that internal stuff, because it's making it hard for you to stay true to you. All right, and then we also have gentle. So let's clarify gentle. All right, so gentle is clarified by life goals. So life goals says, be sure your life goals / lifestyle are congruent with your partner's. Wow. Grow together or grow apart. That's crazy. Like, definitely what we've been talking about a lot. You know, this is for like friends, relationships, or some of you guys, you may even be adding family into this group. But I feel like the gentle card comes in to say that you may need to cry about this. You may need to vent. You may choose to go to therapy about this, or support groups about this, or even if it's just talking to someone, like maybe you have like a Reddit and there's a forum or a thread where you can just vent about this and talk about this with other people. Maybe there's like a Discord chat where other people are going through stuff like this and you can just talk about it. Like, I feel like you guys need to in one way or another get this out, shit, if you need to put it in the comment section, excuse my language, do so. Like, just to get it out. Like, if you just need to share your story with someone, please know I will read it. I have my email in the description if you just need to like get it out and know that someone else knows, someone else has listened, someone else has read it. Just know I will read it. So yeah, you guys are trying to be as gentle as you can with yourself, being compassionate, having emotional expressions like crying or laughing, or any sort of like emotion that feels natural to your experience. But yeah, definitely know that for the people that you grew apart from, there will be people that you grow together with. One thing I do want to say that's important is don't feel like you have to do it now, but when you get to a point where you are thinking to yourself that I want to meet new people, just know that you may have to go out and engage in those relationships and in meeting those people. They may not just like fall on your doorstep type of thing, so you may need to go out and find groups of people, or go out to different community events, or whatever that may be, or places where you guys share interests or share hobbies. That way you can find the people that you relate and match to the most. So let us finish your reading with a self-forgiveness card, and then we'll also finish up with a skill that you may find helpful to develop. So the self-forgiveness card for today says, I forgive myself for thinking that no one cares to hear what I have to say. I choose to believe that I have within me a powerful, innate wisdom, and I am capable of creating loving impact with my words. And the skill for today says, practice a Teflon mind. Practice having a Teflon mind today. Do not react to potentially stressful situations, criticisms, or anything else that might stick to you and cause needless suffering. Instead, let these experiences slide right through your awareness like water off a duck's back. And so I do want to say that I know for this, that's easier said than done, right? Like, people will throw that around like, oh, just let it brush off of you, or don't take mind to it, or whatever. Don't take this card as saying that like you shouldn't have an emotional experience to this, but you may find that eventually you get to a point where you no longer take on what people say as a true evaluation of who you are as a person. So let's say, for example, you are someone who is overweight and you live in a society where, generally speaking, people who are overweight are seen as less worthy or less beautiful. And so when someone calls you ugly, you really take that personally and you may cry about it. Not any judgment for crying about it. That's a normal experience to what you have been told. But you may find that later on, someone may call you ugly and you won't believe what they say about you, but you may still cry because it was hurtful to know that someone tried to say something to knock you down, or to beat you up, or to make you feel bad about yourself, that sort of experience. So Sagittarius, I know that we talked about a lot today. Thank you for sticking around for the entire reading. I want to remind you that, as always, you are doing the best in the present moment with the knowledge and the skills that you have. And I hope that you found this as confirmation of what you've been experiencing. I hope that you felt seen, heard, and understood in today's reading. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, Sagittarius.